Hello, Faith Church. Devotions this morning are from Numbers chapter 13. And this is that story of Moses sending the spies in to spy out the promised land. The Israelites have just come up to the edge of it now, and he sends them in. So Moses chooses men from each tribe and sends them in. And he gives them this command. This is starting in verse 17. Moses sent them to spy out the land of Canaan and said to them, "Go up into the Negeb and go up into the hill country and see what the land is, and whether the people who dwell in it are strong or weak, whether they are few or many, and whether the land that they dwell in is good or bad, and whether the cities that they dwell in are camps or strongholds, and whether the land is rich or poor, and whether there are trees in it or not. Be of good courage and bring back some fruit of the land, because for now it was the time of the season of the first ripe grapes." So Moses gives them this command, and those spies go out. And then down at verse 25, it says they bring back this report. They come back. It says, "At the end of 40 days, they had returned from spying out the land. And they came to Moses and Aaron and all the congregation of the people of Israel in the wilderness of Paran and Kadesh." So all people gather with Moses and Aaron to hear this report. "And they told him, 'We came to a land to which you sent us, and it flows with milk and honey, and this is its fruit. However, the people who dwell in the land are strong, and the cities are fortified and very large. And besides, we saw the descendants of Anak there.' But Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, 'Let us go up at once and occupy it, for we are well able to overcome it.' But then the men who had gone up with Caleb said, 'We are not able to go up against this people, for they are stronger than we are.' So they brought to the people of Israel a bad report of the land that they had spied out, saying, 'The land through which we have gone to spy out is a land that devours its inhabitants. And all the people that we saw are great in height. And there we saw the Nephilim, the sons of Anak. And we seemed like ourselves, like we were grasshoppers.' That's what we seemed like to them." And so here we have this report. You have the 12 spies come back, and they admit, they say it's a beautiful land. It's flowing with milk and honey is how they described it. But then they said, however, the people there are very large and very strong. And Caleb speaks up and says, "We can do this. We can do this." But the people bring a bad report and say this land will devour those who try to come into it. And so the picture we have here is of the Israelite people. This is the promised land. This is what they've been called to, and God has shown them so many miracles. I mean, think of the delivery from Egypt, and just how God led them against the impossible, and all the way he's provided through the whole desert. And now they come to the very edge of the land, and they go in to spy it out, and it has everything that God said it would be. And I just thought this is so much like God's calling on our lives. God has this incredible life, a life and life to the full, it says in the Gospel of John. Life abundantly, some translations. That he has this life for us, this life that he wants to give us, and he calls us to it. But it requires faith. And here we have the spies who went in, and you have this contrast between Caleb, who showed that faith, that despite what the circumstances look like, that there was giants and they have strong fortified cities, and for many human military strategists, there was just no way the Israelites could prevail. But Caleb, with such confidence, says, "No, we can do this." But those that didn't have faith, that weren't willing to trust in God, couldn't get past that, couldn't get past their circumstances, and they spread this bad report, it says. So for application, there's a lot, I think, that we can apply to our lives. And as we know, the Israelites are going to have their battles. They're still going to have their struggles. They're going to have to battle through. It's not going to be easy. God didn't just require nothing of them. And they still are going to have to fight and trust in God step by step, day by day. But in the end, we know that God will provide them this, fulfill his promise of the promised land. And so we're going to have our trials as well. Jesus said we would. In this world, you will have trouble. And but we put our faith in God, and we know there's a hope, a sure hope. There's a love that nothing can separate us from, that we can put our faith in. And if we follow God's guide for the way he's laid it out, if we trust his way, even when it seems the world seems to go the opposite way, when we give of our money, when we don't have enough, when we approach our relationships, our marriages, and how we parent our kids and friends and work, when we do it God's way, even when we look around and the world isn't, if we're willing to trust God and do it his way, we will always find that it's the best way. But it takes faith. So tomorrow we'll see what happens next in the story. But with that, I'd just like to bless you and for your day. So may the Lord bless you and keep you, and may his face shine upon you. And today would you know his peace. God bless.